Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. My name is Tony Squares. I'm joined by Robert Lentini, and we are breaking down what we just watched at 7 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 2 in the
I'm
morning,
exhausted.
depending on where you were at. Way too early in the morning. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view premium live event from Perth, Australia. My friend, Robert, how many hours of sleep do you have right now? Did you stay up to watch it? Did you wake up early to watch it? What are you doing?
Well, I made the poor decision of I was up at around 4 a.m. and I was like, you know what? I'll stick it through. I'll watch the first match. And I just kept watching, fell asleep for a little bit, woke back up. I'm running on about 90 minutes of sleep, but feeling great, feeling ready to go. Let's talk about some Elimination
before
Chamber.
we get into what happened. There was a lot that did happen. You said on our last podcast that you were an 8 out of 10 in excitement level for this pay-per-view. After the pay-per-view, we're 1 through 10. Where did it rate on a scale for you?
I give it a 6, 6.5.
Yeah.
I was a little let down by some of the moments tonight. Honestly, like I think I don't know. I'll have to go back and do the scorecard. I'll have the prediction scorecard ready for.
Oh, you killed
we
me.
both made predictions. Okay, so
You just I don't think I got one right, and you got everyone right, my friend. You knew what was coming before it happened. But we're going to go through match by match, break down what happened. We're going to give out match of the night, MVP of the night, letdown of the night, and go through the biggest things that stood out to us while we break this show down. But let's start off. I got to say, before we even get to the matches, I thought the crowd was awesome. I thought the venue was awesome, and it was definitely that big fight feel. I thought everything was great, except for, here's my biggest qualm if we're going to get into it. For whatever reason, the production of this pay-per-view, especially during the Elimination Chamber matches, there were so many shadows cast on these wrestlers, and so many times, especially when people were on top of the chambers, that you could not see them. The light was not on them. And that was, to me, WWE is the king of production value. And I just got to say from the start, that really took me out of a couple of big moments, especially a couple of big face-offs. Did that affect you at all?
Yeah, and there were also a couple moments where the camera just went black. I thought I was like maybe through one bloodshot eye, barely awake, I was seeing things, but no, the camera just went black. So there was definitely some production issues. That's usually AEW's problem. Tonight, WWE, it was a little bit of an amateur hour there, but the feel of that stadium, I just want to go back to what you originally said there, the crowd, the vibe. This is Elimination Chamber. This isn't like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. You know, this isn't like a historically major show, and they sold out 50,000 people, and it felt like WrestleMania. And they had Nia Jax in the main event. That's when you know your company's hot. When you can have a main event with Nia Jax and 50,000 people show up, that's pretty damn impressive. I don't know about how you feel about that, but that was like, I didn't understand the scope of the crowd until I saw everybody there. I was like, geez, this is a massive.
So you're telling me Julia Hart versus Saraya wouldn't sell out that venue?
No. Tony would book that venue and sell 2,000 tickets and tape off the rest of the arena and show it incredibly dark. All right, I'm done. Moving on.
Enough bashing on AEW. This is a WWE-centric show. Let's jump right into it. Pre-show match. We got Indy Hartwell on the card. We talked about this when we recorded, and then during the week, they announced she was going to be on the card, facing off in a tag team championship match. Pre-show, though, but again, good pop, good world for her. I love to see Candice LeRae out there. How did you feel about this match that we saw in the pre-show?
It was okay, quick, painless. We knew, good to get Indy Hartwell the pop, but we knew the Kabuki Warriors were going to win, and I already forgot about it, to be honest with you. We're moving on from that match. Good for Indy Hartwell, but I don't see Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae as a team going anywhere anytime soon, which is unfortunate. That they were going to win. They would give Indy Hartwell the win in her hometown, and they weren't even that competitive. So
it was to me, it started off the theme of the evening because, as I said, you were perfect in our predictions before this show. But the theme of the evening to me was I could have written down what was going to happen in this pay-per-view and figured it out pretty fast. That was very cut and paste. Again, good pop, but a very cut and paste pre-show match. And then we open with something that I was very excited for and something that I got wrong. It's the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And I got to say, man, out of all of them, of course, we have the main event. This might have been my match of the night. I haven't decided yet. We'll get to that at the end, but I really enjoyed almost everything in this match except for one person. But again, I'm not gonna hold anything back here. Women's Elimination Chamber. First off, Becky Lynch is the winner. Did the right person win this match?
Yeah, I think so. And I predicted that. I think everybody saw Becky Lynch winning this match. Made the most sense. They already had the stare down at the press conference. They've been teasing this match a lot. And and I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but I will for a second here. I think Rhea Ripley might win that match too. I don't think they're going to take the title off her. I think this is building a legacy for Rhea Ripley. And, but we'll talk more about that when we get closer to WrestleMania. But for the women's Elimination Chamber match, let's go into this because I thought, we're going to do the MVP of the night, but I thought the MVP of this match was Tiffany Stratton because
absolutely,
the crowd loved her. The flip off the top of the pod was like effortless. Awesome. She's so far ahead of like her experience in the ring. It's incredible. She's a natural. She's like, she was born to do this. And I don't know, she was like a gymnast before. She just falls right into this. And just one of those rare people that she's just already a star on the main roster. That's so hard to find, someone that just connects like that.
I think the best part, I fully agree with you. I think the best part about her, not just the ability, the athletic ability, but she has everything down when it comes to selling the match, like the visuals that she gives, the body language that she gives. It's all there. And it is so fun to watch her in a ring full of veterans and excellent pro wrestlers. And she did not seem like the wrong person in that match. I thought that was perfect. And I was going to say, if I could buy stock in any wrestler, I know you can't do that, but if I could buy stock in any wrestler after tonight, it's Tiffany Stratton. I think has a rocket ship attached to her. I think she's going to be excellent. Was there anyone in this match? We're going to do dud of the night later. Was there anyone in this match that kind of fell flat for you? Because I know I have one.
Well, let me hear you first. Let me hear who fell flat for you first, because I might have a different one. But
I've never been a huge Raquel Rodriguez fan, but I have to say, if I had to pick a dud, it was Naomi. And I hate saying that because I love Naomi, but to me, she seemed, I mean, she's not rusty because she's been wrestling in other promotions, but to me, everything seemed to step off here. And it never really clicked. I know she got popped by Becky at one point, which was sort of an accidental thing. So maybe that, jarred her a little bit, but really for the whole entire time, other than that time where she climbs up the cage and then does the split leg drop onto Becky, that was wicked cool. But at no other point was I really enthused that I was watching Naomi the whole time. Am I wrong on that?
No, and she was, I think Tiffany Stratton eliminated her first, right? Yeah. So she was kind of a letdown in this match. She had the big big return at the Royal Rumble over an hour, and then she's kind of frittering away, and that was kind of the problem with her originally. She had the one SmackDown Women's Championship run, and then that was kind of it. So hopefully they have something planned for her WrestleMania. It was kind of a bummer to see. She was just barely remember her in this match in the grand scheme of things, because so much happened after she got eliminated. But yeah, I agree. Raquel Rodriguez was also kind of like, it was like, all right, she was good in this match, but I didn't feel like she didn't really belong. Like, I didn't want to see her I didn't want to see her win the match. I wanted her to be the first eliminated, even though it's nice to see her back. It's just not enough there for me. So I would pick Raquel Rodriguez. Just not enough backstory, not enough for me to want to see her win, not enough for me to get.
They also played her in this role as like the main enemy or the main threat to Bianca Belair, physically imposing and all that. And as we know, this was maybe supposed to be Jade Cargill's spot in this match, and I didn't believe Raquel could step up to Bianca Belair. Speaking of Bianca, she lost. Obviously, she lost in heartbreaking fashion. Had some great moments in this match. I wanted her to win this match. What's next for the EST? You can't spell WrestleMania without EST, Bob. And now we have our two main events set, and Bianca is not a part of it.
Well, maybe she faces Jade Cargill. Maybe that's just a singles match, a marquee banger of a match. Maybe that's, I don't know. She could. I don't see her in a tag team. I don't see her as a tag team star going after the women's tag. She's a singles star. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think it's Jade Cargill. Maybe it's Jade Cargill's first singles match on the main roster against Bianca Belair. I really don't know. That's a good question, because there's not much. The two singles titles matches are taken: Bayley and Io Sky, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. That's a great question. I have no idea where they're going to go with her. No idea.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But let's move on from the women's chamber and now on to the men's tag. We knew what was going to happen. You really liked this match, though.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like special, but it was just a great tag title match. And the crowd was like dead for a little bit, but they won him over by the end. It's just that you can't. You go from what is it? The Catch Strong style. It's like they already changed that team's name. I don't even remember the new name. It's New
Butch
Catch style or
Butch and the Femme. That's what
Butch
we're
and the
calling
Femme. That's right. That's exactly right. How could I ever forget that? Butch and the Femme. Put up a good fight, but nobody believed that they were going to win the titles. That was kind of the main problem with a lot of this tonight. Is like, well, I don't think she's going to win the title. You know what I mean? But so, yeah, good, fun match. Dominic Mysterio was ringside. He got booed out of the building as always. Yeah. That was great. He got kicked out. Finally, the referee that dragged that out forever. But it was just a great back and forth match. I think Balor screwed up his thumb at the end. Did you see that? I don't know what he did after the match. He's looking at his thumb. I'll check up on that. But yeah, great match. The Judgment Day are still the champions. They need to have someone interesting to face at WrestleMania, and I don't know who that is at the moment at all.
Neither
on
do
the
I.
main on the men's tag team division. I'm way more interested in the women's tag team division, weirdly, and that I'm not all that interested in that either. But the men's tag team division has just been kind of a slog during the Judgment Day's title reign. There's a lot of talented teams, but they're not doing a lot with any of them. It's weird, but yeah, the right team won. Fun match, but kind of forgettable at the end of the day as well, because nobody.
That's the thing, man. I don't have much to add. We're not going to spend too much time on this because to me it was a match you could see on Raw or SmackDown. Like I did not come away with any new feelings of anyone in this match. And again, I'm not assessing the work of the wrestlers in there. I just nothing made me jump out of my chair in this match, and that's what I want out of a pay-per-view. This was really a time filler. Speaking of time fillers, you might have a different view of this. But the Grayson Waller effect, which again, we said this on our show last week, good for Grayson Waller to have this spot. And I thought he was great. The little asides he said, like his tone of voice when he was making fun of these guys, the way he introduced Cody, the American education system failed to let him finish his story. All those little things, I thought he did great. This segment, though, man, this could have been an email. Like this was an awful segment for these two of the biggest stars, hottest stars in the company. Bob, what did you think about this?
Well, it started off all wrong. You don't start off with the guy who can't talk, Austin Theory. I like Austin Theory in the ring, but he starts off and he's cutting like grade school like jokes, like local sports town jokes. It's like, oh God, get this guy out of here, man. Like this guy has so much potential, but just when he opens his mouth with a live microphone, it's like, good Lord, man, get a manager. Have Grayson Waller talk for you, please. But yeah, they started it off just on just the sourest of notes, with just Theory just sucking the oxygen out of the Optus Stadium there in Perth. Then Waller comes out. The crowd's like already a little bored because of Austin Theory just spoke for 3 minutes. Waller comes out, gets a good reaction. He introduces Rollins first. It takes 12 minutes for this guy to get to the ring. Is standing there. Yeah, I enjoy it once in a while. We don't get to do it.
No, I'm saying the crowd enjoyed it, but
I understand.
Seth definitely enjoyed it too. He was milking the fuck out of that.
Jeez, man. Yeah, and he's another guy that, well, I don't want to go off on a tangent on Seth Rollins. Rollins is one of the best in the ring, but just the promo work, like what separates him from being like the great is I think his promo work and his I can't even do the cackle and the annoying stuff he does. But yeah, that entrance took a while, and then we got Cody, which is great, but that also took like 5 minutes. It did the men's tag team match and the Grayson Waller effect felt like the second hour of a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? And I was like, just what am I watching here? It's 6:28 in the morning. I just desperately want to go to sleep, and I'm watching great Austin Theory cut a promo. It was like questioning my life's decisions at that point. But yeah, this was very what we were. I was hoping to see some. Maybe we got Cody Rhodes calling out The Rock. Let's get that out there. That happened.
We did.
He said I want a singles match with The Rock, but that's about it, right?
And then Seth came up and said, I'd be fighting by your side, which we already knew would happen. And then we got a bunch of finishes on Austin Theory. I mean, I think the best part about this entire segment was Austin Theory on the mic trying to do the Rock's lines and Seth just laughing at him. Great job, kid. I laughed at that. I popped at that.
That was funny.
But this was a waste of everyone's time. And I'm sorry for everyone who had to wake up early or stay up late to watch it and get this, because this put you to bed.
Yeah, it's just we were saying like an impromptu tag match, or maybe Rollins. I don't think is cleared.
We got nothing of the sort.
I don't think Rollins is cleared yet for a full match. That's what I'm assuming. But you could add Waller versus Rhodes would have been better than this.
Anything.
Just Grayson Waller
Rhodes,
have
anything.
Cody Rhodes by himself on the show, and it turns into a fight. But once Rhodes came out in the suit, I'm like, well, they're not having a match. So I was like, already, I knew the segment like was gonna suck like 4 minutes in. I'm like, oh God. Like they did
like Rollins' attire though with the Jinko jeans, and then he had the shades with the third eye covered. He's playing into it, man.
The Velveteen Dream glasses. I don't know. That was a bad choice if you really think about it. But anyways, yeah.
Now that we're talking about Velveteen Dream, let's move on. The men's elimination chamber. This one, I said this on our pod last week. If Drew McIntyre won this elimination chamber match, that means to me that he is signed with WWE for the long-term future, because now it's the build to WrestleMania, and Drew McIntyre is going to be a huge part in it. Got a couple of things that we knew were going to happen. AJ Styles coming in with the chair against LA Knight. You kind of predicted that that's going to be the feud going forward for LA Knight. But I was really surprised at the whole KO Logan Paul thing, and then adding in Randy Orton to that mix. Randy Orton selling a back injury for most of the match and then getting his comeuppance. I thought there was some really great moments in this match. To me, it felt a little bit, you expected this match to be epic. I'll say this. You expected this match to be epic. Did it reach that level for you at any point?
No, it didn't. It was good. And the right man won. Drew McIntyre won the match. He's going on to WrestleMania to face Seth Rollins. Logan Paul also had some good moments in this match. Kevin Owens,
he continues to impress.
Right. I think that's his 11th match of his career.
Yeah.
That's insane. If you think about that, and that's, I mean, some of these people that you see on TV have 11 matches a month and aren't even a fraction as good as him. And he's not a professional wrestler. He just fell into this. I can't stand the guy, like just on a personal level with the Crypto Zoo stuff. I think but he's a natural in the ring, and you can't take that. He's wildly entertaining. I'm not going to take that away from him.
I do want to bring up, because we made it about Tiffany Stratton. Excellent at the entertainment part of wrestling, the visuals, knowing when to hit his mark, knowing when to stay still and raise his hand up with the brass knuckles, because he knows what's coming up next, but he can't give it away to the audience. A genuine surprise out of me what happened there. Like, Logan Paul's great at this. He really
is. It's frustrating. Because because there's so many people that are like, love this business, devoted their life just in gyms and travel around the world, and are just not even close to how good he is. And that must just kill somebody inside. Somebody just at the bottom of a bottle right now after that Logan Paul performance tonight. Why can't that be me?
One last thing on Logan Paul. This was thing that I did not like, and I know why they're doing it. They're promoting the new video game. But when they showed the people in the chamber and they had their rating next to him from the video game, I hated that. I hated seeing that Logan Paul was a 90 and Kevin Owens was a 80-something. I hated seeing that Tiffany Stratton, like when they showed the women's in particular, Bianca Belair is a 90-something and Tiffany Stratton's a 70-something. So to me, the viewer, the guy who's, doesn't follow this greatly at WWE level, in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, Tiffany Stratton has no chance. She's a 70-something. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that really took out. I didn't like that touch
I always go to like letter grades. It's like, so you're telling me Tiffany Stratton's a C+?
Yeah,
like that's I don't like that. I agree. You can put it in the game. It makes sense in the game, but now you don't need to prop it up on your actual television show here. But let's get into the men's elimination chamber. I don't want to just brush over. Touch on a couple things. Kevin Owens smashing his head into the pod when Logan Paul entered was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That man gets it. That's what that guy just gets it. Kevin Owens, when he needs to be serious, he gets it. When he needs to be funny, that was both funny and like horrifying at the same time, because he concussed himself. The aggression he hit that plexiglass in was fantastic. Bobby Lashley kind of forgettable in this match. I'm just really disappointed with what that guy was on fire heading into WrestleMania 39 last year and did not get booked for a match and has not recovered. He's posed with that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy on WrestleMania 39. That was his appearance. And ever since then, it's just been running in place for Bobby Lashley. I feel bad because he's getting up there. He's old. He's only got a few more years left doing this. And I would love to see him get a moment. And I just don't think it's going to happen for him. And, Drew McIntyre, let's talk about the finish. Because this is also, we got AJ Styles involved in this. He attacked LA Knight. Eliminated him from the match. Randy Orton was able to roll over, or I think Drew McIntyre pinned him. Logan Paul brings the brass knuckles. Randy Orton hits him with the RKO before he can use them, I believe. pins him. Logan Paul then bashes Orton with the brass knuckles.
After hanging out for a bit, they let Randy and Drew fight it out for a bit, and Logan's just kind of off to the side. And you notice his legs, but he's just sort of selling an injury. I thought it was a fantastic booking at the end of this match.
So Logan Paul costs Randy Orton this match. Are we getting? And then that leads to Drew McIntyre winning. So are we getting some kind of like Randy Orton versus Logan Paul with? Are we getting a multi-man United States Championship match at WrestleMania featuring Logan Paul and Randy Orton? I did not see that coming at all. I did not have that on my bingo card. I did not have Logan Paul and Randy Orton in a match at WrestleMania, but now that I'm envisioning it, it sounds awesome because we've just discussed how great Logan Paul already is. You put him in there with a legend like Randy Orton, kind of intrigued what they can do together. So, but we'll see. We'll see what the United States Championship picture goes. But we know that Drew McIntyre will be challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. And I think we're looking at our next World Heavyweight Champion, Drew McIntyre. I think this guy has knocked it out of the park. And I think you put the title on him at WrestleMania 40 as a heel in front of the fans. But that's just me. What are your overall thoughts on this match before we move on? The direction that they're going here with McIntyre and Rollins.
Love the finish of everything. I will say again, because I was genuinely surprised by how it was going to go down with Randy selling the back injury the whole time. I thought that was going to be the reason why he lost. But yes, now we have so many questions. This is what I asked with Bianca Belair. What happens next for the people who lose? We kind of have an idea now in all of the men in this match, what happens to them next, except, of course, for Bobby Lashley. And then as for Drew Mac, I'm right there with you, man. This is going to be an excellent build to WrestleMania, and should Seth be able to put on the match that he's accustomed to, we should have an absolute banger between these two guys, and I'm very excited to see it. Very excited for the build. Again, my AEW heart is sad that I think Drew now is with WWE for the long term, but that's not even a question. It was a great couple of moments. I really enjoyed this match a lot. Both of the chamber matches I really enjoyed. Everything else, let's move on to the main event. Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax. The good girl comes home, man. Like, mommy is there, and she is destroying people. Like, clearly, everyone bought their tickets to see her, and we're happy to see her. And Nia Jax, I mean, what did you think about how these two perform before we get to the finish and some of the highlights?
Well, I think Nia Jax has improved a lot. People are maybe saying that means that I think she's a great wrestler. No, I think she's a good wrestler. I think she was a poor wrestler that has improved to a pretty good wrestler or an average wrestler, and she can hold her own, and she played her role well in this match. She's the bigger girl. She's like the almost of the women's division, and she played her role well. This wasn't a 5-minute match. She was in there for 15-20 minutes, a couple of cool spots, but the right woman won again. But I thought Nia Jax held her own, made Rhea Ripley look like a bigger star. That was her job tonight. That was Nia Jax's job tonight, was not to injure anybody, which was always a great thing with the Nia Jax match. Nobody got injured, and she made Rhea Ripley look like an even bigger star. And I was overall impressed. I thought Rhea Ripley, the superplex with Nia Jax off the top rope was awesome. And she got her up for the Riptide. And Nia Jax hit a couple of the Vader bombs, a couple of awkward-looking clotheslines, and a couple of awkward-looking leg drops, and that was the match.
I do want to say I thought the table spot was a great move by Nia Jax because, again, you have to roll with the punches out there. And when you Samoan drop a person through a table and the table doesn't break, well, what do you do next? Because that's a pivotal spot in the match. What do we do? And Nia did the right thing. Like, it might have looked a little awkward, her getting on the chair and doing the elbow drop, but again, she did the right thing. She created the moment that's going to be shared all over social media. So, again, I'm with you there. I thought she did a serviceable job and did her job in this match. Ripley closes it out, raising the title in the air. We now moving forward in that match in the build to WrestleMania. Let's end this with our 3 sort of awards we want to give out here. What do you think was the match of the night, my guy?
Well, I am going to go with I think we're going to agree. I think because you already kind of hinted at earlier, but I had the women's Elimination Chamber as my match of the night. So I was expecting the men's Elimination Chamber to steal the show, and I just thought there were a couple moments that was just a little clunky. The AJ Styles and LA Knight thing just has not hit for me, and I like both guys. It just has not.
I think it's because you might want more for both of them.
Yeah, it's just so what? There's not a title on the line. That's just a singles match at WrestleMania. It's looking
just
like
pride, baby.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for right now for LA Knight.
It's just pride, baby. So yeah, I agree with you. Women's Elimination Chamber is the match of the night. Is there a particular letdown of the night for you?
Well, the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. I didn't have high expectations going into it, and it still just was so subpar and just forgettable, and just the whole thing. It was just like you said. It could have been an email. It could have been like a pre-taped 2-second promo. Hey, Rock, you slapped me in the face. I want to fight you. That's all. It took 28 minutes of entrances and Austin Theory just babbling about nothing to get there. That was the biggest letdown, because there really. Well, even for Waller, like the segment ended with Waller holding a potted plant out of the plant by accident, like that was like just everything went wrong, but like everything was off in that segment. So yeah, the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins was my biggest letdown of the night.
We agree on that one too, man. I think I've made myself clear on that. Let me go now to the MVP of the night. And before you steal mine, it's Tiffany Stratton. Like, I thought she impressed more than anyone else. You might say Ripley, obviously a bigger spotlight on her. I just thought Tiffany Stratton wowed me the most, and I'll be remembering what she did that evening more than anyone else. Who was your MVP?
I'm going to go. It's for an interesting reason, but I'm going with Nia Jax, because I said she was the most improved and she did her job tonight. People would like to bash her. I've bashed her plenty of times, deservedly so. But tonight, she showed up in the main event in front of 50,000 people and did not embarrass herself. And she, like you said, she saved that moment with the chair.
What a bar we hold her to.
That is for Nia Jax. That's like an astounding achievement. So like that's why I'm giving her the MVP of the night, because I will no longer talk trash about her, like unwarranted. Yeah. She's earned my respect. That's why I give her the
trash
MVP
about everybody. I feel like that's a fake statement by you, but I understand what you're trying to say. Let's end this show, this recap of Elimination Chamber. We like to end every week with the headline of next week, trying to predict what both of the brands are going to look like. But for these recap shows, we're going to put a twist on that. Instead of the headline of next week, I want to see a year from now, when we're at Elimination Chamber in 2025 and we're waking up at 7 a.m. in France or whatever. What do you think is the moment we remember from this evening? What do you think is the moment they show on the video package that happened last year? Is there a particular one of you that stuck out? Because I know I have mine.
Well, I think I'm going to steal yours. So you go first, because I go first this time.
I think the moment that rules this evening, that was the coolest moment to me, was Logan Paul holding up the brass knuckles, getting ready to hit somebody with him, and then Randy Orton, the RKO out of nowhere. I know the RKO out of nowhere is a cheap pop, but this one was perfection in the way it was shown on screen, the way Logan reacted to it and built up to it. I thought it was genuinely a great moment of wrestling, and that's the moment to me that's going to stick out from this entire pay-per-view. What about you?
Well, that's a good one. I think we're going to be talking about, this is the night that the world was introduced to Tiffany Stratton. That's why I didn't want to go first. I thought I was going to steal yours, because she was your MVP of the night. I think Tiffany Stratton, I agree with you. I just picked Nia Jax because you picked Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
She really did steal the show. Like, I think she will be the one that everybody will be talking about. I think this is the night that everybody, the whole WWE universe that didn't watch NXT, was introduced to Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
And I think the sky is the limit for her. And I think she's going to be a champion in no time. She really impressed me tonight. I did not think she was that far ahead, but she's worthy of like a title shot in a few months. It seems she's like right there already.
The Tiffany Stratton Elimination Chamber. That's what we're going to remember. I love it, man. This is a lot of fun talking about this show. Go get some sleep, and we will be back middle of next week with our next episode, breaking down AEW. We got a pay-per-view coming up for them. Hangman Adam Page's ankle. No one knows what's going on. A lot of things to discuss, but this was about the Chamber, and we did it. We survived the Chamber, my man, and that is all for this week. For Robert Lentini, for Tony Squares, for the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show, we will be back with another one. I got to figure out some Don Callis type send off here. I got to make fun of somebody in the send off. Anyway, this week in Ryback,